Hello, my weird friends. My name is Jason White, and this is Jason's Weird Reads. And today I'm going to be doing some 5-star recommendations. These are all books I plan on reading in 2024, and I have talked about all of them except for one of these books. So be expected to see repeats of my recent videos, anticipation videos, but these are the 5-star ones. And there's a book on here that I've been meaning to read since like 2010, so like 14 years I've been wanting to read this book, and it's kind of complex, and I started it once and then I ended up DNFing it, not because I thought it was bad, but because I just like, I don't have the time right now, I think I'll go read something easier to read. How many times have you done that? And then you never go back to it. It's like 14 years later and I still haven't read it. All right, so I'm gonna start off cheating here a little bit because I started this book. See, I'm about 50 pages in, 52 pages in, and I am, of course, and it's so far it's really good, and so it's easy for me to say, this might be a 5-star prediction. And I'm talking about Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This is a book about, well, it's a revenge story. And so far, these 52 pages have dealt with two fathers who've lost both their sons. Their sons fell in love and married each other. And let's just say the fathers didn't have a good relationship with their sons because of this. Now, the father's name, one of the father's name is Ike, and the other guy's name is Buddy Lee. And like I said, they both didn't agree with their son's lifestyle. And that caused a rift between their sons, but their sons get brutally murdered. And the one thing I like about this book so far is it's kind of a trope that I like. I don't know if it's an actual trope or not. But the one father, Buddy Lee, approaches Ike after their son's funeral, and he says, you know what, the cops aren't going to do anything. We should find these people and take care of it ourselves. If, wink, wink. And Ike is like, nah, I can't do that, because both of them have spent time in jail. But Buddy Lee, he's an alcoholic, and he doesn't really have anything to lose anyway. But Ike, he went to jail. When he got out of jail, he built his own business, his own landscaping business. And he also has a wife, and now he has to take care of his dead son's daughter. So he doesn't want to mess that up. But a couple of things happen, and so Ike invites Buddy Lee to a lunch, and he's like, this is the trope I like, where he changes his mind. He's like, you know what, we're going to take care of this. I've seen this in a couple of things where where the victims sort of decide to go and fight the bad guys instead of feeling victimized. I don't know why I like that trope. I also like revenge stories, which kind of goes against my peaceful nature because I am a bit of a pacifist. Actually, I am a pacifist. I don't believe in violence or anything like that. But yet, at the same time, I love reading violence. Especially, there's like a, I don't know, you just kind of connect with it for some reason. Even if, I don't know, all I know is that if somebody murdered my son, it would be easy. It would be too easy for me to want to. I wouldn't say I would, but I would certainly daydream about it and want to go get the person who did that and do terrible things to them. And I think this book really plays into that. And so I think it's going to be a 5-star read. Next up here, all of these are physical books in my physical TBR because I have more space in my days to actually bring books around with me and read them. When I was working at the factory, I couldn't do that because they didn't want you reading at work. And you could read, of course, on your lunch break, but it was just like you're going to read for maybe 10 minutes and you're there for 12 hours, so what was the point? So I ended up reading a lot of ebooks, and that sort of took over everything. Talked about that quite extensively as well, but if you follow my channel at all, you know I like to repeat myself. So I'm going to just move on to the next book here. I haven't talked about this book in a while, but I can't wait to get to it because it's an ode to it's not one of my favorite, it's my favorite movie of all time. Every time I watch it, it still blows me away, and that's The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. And the book I'm talking about is Underneath by Robbie Dorman. This is a short book, but I really love, I've read 3 Robbie Dorman books before. I even made a video about why you should read Robbie Dorman. He writes really fun, fast-paced books, but they also have like a fairly strong moral message in all the books I've read by him, and I like that. Excuse me. So underneath is a book that I've been wanting to read since I read those 3 books, and it's, like I said, it's short. It's like 260 pages, and it's easy to hold in your hand. It just feels good actually sitting in your hand. So I want more Robbie Dorman books, and I want to read pretty much his entire list of books, but it's definitely going to start with this one, and it's going to be a 5-star read, I'm sure of it. Next up is another author. There's so many authors I need to catch up on, and this is one of them, Paul Tremblay, and this is his second book, Devil's Rock, or Disappearance at Devil's Rock. And I've been wanting to read this for a long time. I just like the idea of somebody going missing. Or here, let me read you the synopsis of this one, because I keep flubbing up the synopsis. 13-year-old Tommy Sanderson is missing, so I was right. Elizabeth and her young daughter, Kate, struggle to comprehend her son's disappearance. The police have no leads. Tommy's 2 friends may not be telling the whole truth about the night they were hanging out in the Borderland State Park, near the landmark local teens call Devil's Rock, before he vanished. Strange events follow. Elizabeth believes she sees Tommy's ghost in her bedroom. Kate and other residents claim a figure peers through their windows at night. Random pages torn from Tommy's journal mysteriously appear, revealing an introverted teenager obsessed with the phantasmagoric, the loss of his father, killed in a drunk driving accident a decade earlier, a folk tale involving the devil and the Borderland woods, and a horrific incident that Tommy believed connected them all. So I'm going to leave it at that, but yeah, like, I love mysteries where people go missing in fiction, or especially in real life, when there's something seemingly supernatural attached to it. That is what grabs my... That's really what grabs my imagination, and that's one reason why I want to read this one like immediately, as soon as possible. And I'm certain it's Paul Tremblay. It's going to be a 5-star read, and then I want to go and check out the rest of his books because I need to catch up. All right, next up here, I have an author I've been wanting to read for a long time, and this one won the Stoker Award. I forget which year, but it was very recent. And I really need to read this author, and if possible, I would absolutely love to talk to him if I like this book. I'm pretty sure I'm going to, though, because everyone that I know who's read this book has praised it, and I'm talking about The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. Now, this is another sort of, I think it's another revenge tale. Let me read you the synopsis here. Buried in debt due to his young daughter's illness, his marriage at the brink, Mario reluctantly takes a job as a hitman, surprising himself with his proclivity for violence. After tragedy destroys the life he knew, Mario agrees to one final job: hijacking a cartel's cash shipment before it reaches Mexico. Along with an old friend and a cartel insider named Wonka, Mario sets off on the near-suicidal mission, which will leave him with either a cool $200,000 or a bullet in the skull. But the path to reward or ruin is never as straight as it seems. As the 3 complicated men travel through the endless landscape of Texas, across the border and back, their hidden motivations are laid bare alongside nightmarish encounters that defy explanation. One thing is certain: even if Mario makes it out alive, he'll return a different man. So it's not a revenge story, but it's very violent. From my understanding, there's a lot of grief in this book, and there's a lot of violence, and there's a supernatural twist that I just love it when crime novels mix with supernatural elements. I don't know why that it's one of my favorite tropes, and I don't think it's done nearly enough, but that's why I think this is going to be a 5-star read for me. It's the praise it's gotten, and it's those 2 elements coming together. Sounds like a dish created just for me. Chef's kiss. Mwah. Anyway, next up here, past the awkwardness, is Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. Now, I read My Heart is a Chainsaw, and I want to finish the series. The third book is coming out in 2024, which I believe it's in May or June. I could be wrong on that, but I'm looking forward to reading it. And Don't Fear the Reaper came out last year in 2023, and the first book was a 5-star read for me, and so that's why I think this book is going to be a 5-star read for me as well, because I love Stephen Graham Jones, and I've said this before, and I mean it, I'm going to start soon. I want to read all 3 of these books in a row. So, close to the release date to the third book in this series, I am going to start reading My Heart is a Chainsaw again, and then I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to read that final book, and I can't wait. 5-star read, I'm certain. Next up, here's 2 thickies here. I think I'm going to save this for summer, for outdoor reading and whatnot. And it's a Stephen King book that clocks in around 800 pages, and that is intimidating. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with my eyes, or if I'm going to have to, cheat. It's not cheating when you use an audiobook. I don't know why I said that. But I really want to read this with my eyes. And that's 11/22/63. I've heard a lot of great things about this. I think this might tickle that bone that I talk about when I say some of Stephen King's books really hit that nerve. It could also go the opposite way, because from my understanding, there's a love story in this book. And Stephen King can sometimes get overly sentimental, and I don't like it when he does that necessarily. I think I like his sort of father-son type stories, like adoptive father type stories, like Low Men in Yellow Coats, and Later. I think Later was kind of like that. I could be wrong. Anyways, those are the stories I think about that really hit the nail on the head with me when it comes to his sentimentality. But this I've seen him do love stories before, and it just didn't work for me, so this one might not work either. But I'm hoping that won't be the case, that this will hit that funny bone, my Stephen King funny bone. I'm starting to talk nonsense here. My Stephen King funny bone. Anyway, so this book, if it hits that Stephen King funny bone, it will be a 5-star read. Absolutely. I will love this book, and I will gush about it, and you guys will be sick of me. You will be sick of hearing about this book from me. I am certain, if it hits that funny bone. If it don't, then I'll probably say, it wasn't for me, and move on. Alright, last book. Now this is the book I was talking about that I need to read. I started it, didn't finish it, and it's been 14 years. So, what book is that, you might be asking? So, let me see here if my bookmark is still in here. I thought I saw it. Yes, it is. Oh, how curious. I was just using a piece of paper. Let's see what's written on this piece of paper. Interesting. It's like a list of books, satanic books at that. Weird. I don't even know if that's my handwriting. Anyways, I stopped at page 50. I was like, this book is weird. I'm gonna put it down until I have more time. More time, right? And that's House of Leaves by Daniel Z. Danielewski. Now, I have a close friend who read this book, and he said it was kind of nonsense. I don't know if I'm gonna believe that, because the first 50 pages kind of rocked my socks right off my feet, and I'm pretty sure, honestly, that I'm going to love this book. I don't think it's going to be pretentious, as my good friend said it was, but I do know there's an audience out there who thinks that this is just a bunch of pretentious load of crap that somebody barfed out their ego, and maybe it's a bit of that. I don't know. I mean, there is, parts of this book that you have to, read in a mirror, and trying to find an example, read upside down. So I've just looking through the book, you'll find this stuff. It's very written in a very weird way, and you really do have to pay attention to it. Here we go, here's an example. You have to kind of flip it over like this to read it and whatnot. And this page here is entirely blank. Oh no, it's not. There's the words "I am" written in there. And there's even like some music in here. Like parts of this book could go by very, very quickly because here's a page full of X's. And oh, look at this over here. There's even more X's. Some of them in the middle being bold. Yeah, you could probably fly through a lot of this book fairly quickly because of that type of stuff. But I don't know. It just seems like this might be like a treasure trove of awesomeness, in my opinion, because I like the idea of the story. The part that I'm familiar with is the very beginning where the protagonist, I can't remember his name, he finds that the inside of his house is bigger than the outside of the house. I mean, he measures it and it's like half a foot or a foot bigger, and he can't figure out what the hell's going on. And the house has a history, of course. It's very cosmic kind of horror, and like I said, it seems like a treasure trove of interesting ideas that I really want to explore. And I'm just gonna take the dive. Maybe this year. I've got a lot of reading plans, but it's gonna be soon. I just hope I don't die before I read this thing. But yeah, this is like one of the more the first. I don't know if it's the first printing. Let me see. I don't know why I'm even stuck on this right now. No, it is not the first printing. It is like the third or fourth printing, but I got it like way back in 2010 or somewhere around there. When was it first published? It was first published in, I can't find that for some reason. Maybe 2000. Was it really published in 2000? Seems to be. So anyways, yeah, I guess that makes sense then. Yeah, it was published in 2000. So I got it 10 years after its initial release, but this this book, I can't wait to dig in, man. It's like one of those cosmic horror, weird fiction types of books that I need to get to pronto because it's been calling me all these years. And I thought, being at the factory, I thought I'd never read it because of the book issue, because of all that weird stuff in the middle to the end of the book. You don't find this as an ebook version at all, at least not that I'm aware of. Wow. Yeah, so there's my 5-star predictions. Tell me if you think I'm going to find these books to be 5 stars or not. Tell me if you think I'm going to actually hate the books deep down there in the darkness. Thank you for watching, my weird friends. Keep being safe and keep being creative, and I'll catch you guys in the next bookish video.